Good afternoon, everybody. It's Lynn, the Leather Bag Lady. How are you all today? I'm back. I'm back in Sarnia. We'll talk about that after today's item. So a little bit of housekeeping before we start. I know we're not in Shop at the Shed, but I do have some stuff I need to cover with you. All of my listings in my Etsy shop are now deactivated. I am in Sarnia. I will be here for the month of February. I cannot physically get my hands on anything to ship it. And I would rather just kind of hold back on ramping everything back up again for just one more month than, create a scenario where I've got a customer who's really unhappy. I was very lucky during the postal strike and my absence from my home since then that I had a couple of customers who were waiting for items. Everything has been shipped out now. There is nothing waiting. And I was very lucky because I had very, very patient customers, both in the US and here in Canada. So all of my listings are deactivated in Etsy, and I have brought some product with me for both Shop at the Shed and Etsy. And I am just going to start every day doing a listing as I used to do and a video as I used to do. And then hopefully when I get back home, first week in March, I can just pick up the pace and we can take it from there. So I will, do a little bit of story time and share some other stuff with you after today's item. But today's item is one of my favorite brands. This is a fabric and leather trimmed Dooney and Bourke 90s wristlet. So open this little baby up and there is your wristlet strap. Fully detachable, which gives you some scope on whether or not you want to use this as a wristlet. Very nice color combinations. This kind of muted red with the DB monogrammed fabric and then this really nice raw leather accent. Now, there is a little bit of color variance on this very, very natural leather. You're going to get that. There is a little bit of a ridge, a little bit of darkening, the touch zones. The button is in great condition. Inside, there's no pockets. There's the all-important Dooney and Bourke. Actually, no. What's that? Assembled in Mexico. Oh, that's different. I haven't seen that before. What does that one say? Oh, for goodness sake. I've never seen this. Oh, wow. Yeah, there's two little leather buttons there, assembled in Mexico, and it gives you some components for this fabric. But all importantly is your Dooney and Bourke authentication tag. Oh, that's kind of cool. I've never seen that. So it is very, just one compartment, very open, nice base on it. So you are going to get some stuff in there. Snap button. Really nice size. Love the color. I think like this muted red really complements this almost vachetta leather type look. So that is today's item, a 1990s Dooney and Bourke leather and fabric monogrammed wristlet or purse pouch if you want to just throw that in your purse. So there we go. That is today's item. So what is a purse pouch? Just before we go on to story time, I will let you know. I talk about it all the time. I like big bags. I do. And I don't have my purse down here actually. And what tends to happen with those bigger shoulder bags is there's no compartments inside. And I do not have the time or the patience for stuff to be rolling around the bottom of my bag. Neither do I want the interior of the bag compromised by a cap that comes off of a pen or a cap that comes off of a lip balm or something like that. When there are no compartments and you have a bigger bag, everything constantly in it is tumbling. It's almost like a tumble dryer. And is that cap going to work its way off at some point? Probably. Is that cap going to work its way off your lipstick at some point? Probably. So encapsulating your items into pouches is genius. So what I've done in the past is I've color coded my pouches. So, maybe I will have a black leather for, lip stuff. I will have, the red monogram Dooney and Bourke for, I don't know, just like little pins and hair ties and whatever it is you tend to carry around in your bag. And that way you can immediately grab that purse pouch. The purse pouches are beautiful. The construction, let me show you quickly. Look at this purse pouch. This is from Kenya, I do believe. Yes. This is an item to come. But, you see this in the thrift store or you see this somewhere and it's so beautiful. And you're like, what can I use that for? Purse pouches, especially if you like a larger sized purse. Or if you travel a lot and you want to, separate your cosmetics, separate your bathroom stuff. These little pouches, if you're a crafter, if you're a scrapbooker, if you're a stamp collector, like these little pouches have so many uses and they're inexpensive. They're good quality for the most part. And they are just such a beautiful thing to look at. And if you are a little bit of an addict like I am, it's a great way to be able to pick something up that isn't going to cost you a fortune and you just get a little bit of fun out of it. So that's what purse pouch means to me. So a lot of what I will be showing you for the next 30 days are belts, wallets, and purse pouches, as I've said already. So I am back in Sarnia. I thought I could maybe sneak my December absence in as my month away for the year. Nope. Unfortunately, they would not allow me to do that. I thought they might cut me some slack just because they were new buying the park and there was a bit of confusion in the beginning. But no, it's per calendar year. So I have decided to just bite the bullet and come back to Auntie's for February. Normally the month I shut things down anyway. People have gotten their credit card statements for Christmas. They're traveling. Retail is not really a huge thing in February, in my experience anyway. So, however, I am not prepared to wait until I go back home in March to kind of get things rolling again. So as I mentioned already, all my listings are deactivated in my Etsy shop, and I will be deactivating everything that's in my shop at the shed, leatherbag-lady.com, because I cannot physically put my hands on those items to be able to ship them to you. So I don't want an upset customer. So I am going to ramp my scheduling, my routine back to the way it was. There will be, a 3-week Etsy video. There will be 2 shop at the shed videos, and we're just going to get reacquainted with each other. The postal strike is not over. Yes, they were mandated back to work, but they will again be in a legal strike position in May if they do not come to some kind of resolution. And I am absolutely stunned at the reality of what that 5-week postal strike did to my business. So am I going to ramp up my online stuff in the hopes that the postal strike comes to nothing? No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going back to my old school footprint where I did a lot of shows. And to be honest, it really is what I gravitate back to. It's where I essentially make the majority of the money because there's no fees. There's no platform fees. There's no shipping materials. There's no shipping costs. So it just seems to be where the best fit is. And I am in a spot in the world that I have never been to before, and they have never experienced the bag lady before. So it's going to be a lot of work, kind of starting from scratch with new activity directors, new administrators, trying to educate them into what I do. And I am changing my format a little bit. I am going to be starting to sell other items, vintage items for the most part. The seniors that I am experiencing on a regular basis now, they are not active seniors any longer. Folks are staying in their homes a lot longer than they used to. The at-home help that is now everywhere is just so strong and so economical, as opposed to paying the crazy monthly prices that these retirement/long-term care homes charge, that families are just trying to allow their seniors to age at home as long as possible. And that does affect what it is I do. They are not out lunching, going to golf, going to movies with their friends, they don't need purses. Family, friends, staff still love what I have, and that will always be the basis of my business. But I'm going to start to sell just little items that these seniors, because they love to have something new. So if it's a little fabric makeup case, or, a little coffee mug, or a cup and saucer, or, a little dish to put their jewelry in at night, I'm going to try and carry a dozen or so little items that are just not purses. And we'll see how it goes. I had 4 mugs that I got from a thrift store in Grimsby, beautiful Christmas mugs. And they were very inexpensive. I didn't charge a lot of money for them, and they were the first things that sold in my Christmas event after having purchased them. And it kind of got me to thinking that, you know what? Time to make yet another change. Entrepreneurship, if you're a small business owner, you will know what I am talking about. You have to pivot so frequently in order to keep up with either social media or, the political landscape, or, postal issues. You just have to constantly pivot, what the marketplace is doing, the volume that I sold in person 12 years ago, the volume I was able to purchase at a reasonable price 12 years ago is definitely not what is happening now. So it only makes sense to me that I need to pivot, and that is what I'm going to do. Who knows what the next year has in store for me? I've canceled my trip for February. I canceled my trip to the UK in March. Very sad to do that, but I just have not really worked since November. I will be back with my clients, but that even needs to have a couple of changes made to it. And I'm just going to move forward with kind of the footprint that I had prior to meeting my husband. I had a very strong business plan. I had a very strong direction. I'd given up meeting anybody. I'd given up on meeting anybody, and I was just going to run my business and do my thing. And then this man came into my life, swept me off my feet. And within months, I was engaged and looking to get married. And I did get married, and it failed. And now it's okay. Let's make sure that doesn't happen again. And by that, I mean that I put my business on the back burner so that I can, go and do other stuff with somebody else. And I'm not ever doing that again. My business is my bread and butter. It's how I pay my bills. And I have taken such an incredible hit financially because I did that. And not just recently. Over the last 2 years, my business I made about half of what I would normally make. And I did that willingly because I wanted to be available for vacations. I wanted to be available for 2 p.m. trips to wherever, Erie Beach for dinner. And yeah, I did not stick to my original plans for my scheduling for my business. And it was a mistake to do that because I am now paying for it. And my bank account is really paying for it. So anyway, just you learn your lessons, right? And just like I'm doing with my trailer, my first winter there, and it has been a whopper of a winter. I've really only been there just shy of 3 weeks in the weather, and my pipes have frozen. I had no water. One of the reasons that I came back to Sarnia to be with my aunt for the month, just a whole bunch of learning that I have had that will make next year's winter season very different. I've started dating again. I've had a lunch date already, which went very well. So, slow and steady wins the race. I had a kind of an annual regroup with my counselor. It's been over a year now that I have been seeing my counselor. 6 months of it, I was still married, and 6 months of it now, I have been separated. So we had a little bit of a chat about what's next for me. And he gave me some very staunch guidelines on what he thinks would be helpful. So I think I've shared it kind of flippantly already. No more my type and no physicality for a decent amount of time, which is fine by me because I don't miss it. I don't want it. I don't want anything to do with it right now, which is a shame. And hopefully I will get that back. But for right now, everything is just great. And we're going to ramp this thing back up slowly. Hopefully, I'll get you back on a daily basis, just finding out what this crazy woman is doing with her days. And we'll get back to Shop at the Shed as well. So until tomorrow, everybody, bye.